Do you know the answer to anything? Exactly, it's 42. Yeah. So, but in our world today, and especially in our project, it doesn't seem to be the answer anymore. So more and more we hear the word BTP, and it seems to be the answer for anything in our projects. And that was a question why Joel and I asked ourselves, what is BTP and how can we use it? But before we start to this, let me quickly introduce ourselves. Okay, this did not work. No. Okay, my name is Max. I'm one of 4 directors at the RB Omnishore. And yeah, I'm in the consultant sector over 10 years now, and normally with a strong retail focus. I'm responsible for the BTP team, the customer checkout team, so the point of sale solution from the SAP, and our application management support team. And with me is my colleague Joel, and he will introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm working as a B2B solution architect. So that means when it comes to developing custom applications on BTP, but also setting up the architecture and integration scenarios in customer projects, which mostly means that we implement some kind of S4 projects, transformation projects. That's what we are doing. So we are working as SAP consultants with a focus on the retail sector.
Okay, thank you. Before we dive into the topic, let me quickly introduce the company that brought us here today. Yeah, it's RB Omnishore, IT consultancy located in Hamburg. We are around for 6 years now, and yeah, having 80 employees and a second office in Munich, close to Kreuzplatz. Our main focus is on SAP S/4HANA implementing and consultancy. Tailored SAP omnichannel retail solutions. As I mentioned before, we are also implementing the customer checkout, and even SAP forecast and replenishment is something that is on our portfolio. And of course, building innovative solutions with the BTP and on the BTP platform. Okay, enough with this. Let's go into the topic, and let me start with the question, what is BTP? The BTP is the business technology platform. It's a platform as a service offered from SAP. And key figures or key pillars are database and data management, analytics, development or application development and implementing, and intelligent tech like AI, automation, and stuff like this. So in short, it's an all-in-one it's an all-in-one cloud platform for data integration, app development, and analytics and intelligent tech. So with this rough overview, what is the BTP? Let us take a look. Where does this run? So as you see here on this image, on the top, we have the business process. So everybody knows all the different kinds of business processes, from order, sales order, or HR, parental leave approval, or stuff like this. All this have different applications. That's here in the application layer. And these applications running on the BTP. The BTP itself run on the hyperscaler. So SAP partnered with the infrastructure as a service provider, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. And you have the option in your BTP itself, you can select the region, and with selecting the region, you can decide where the BTP should run. So on which hyperscaler and in which region. For a lot of our projects, we use the data center in Frankfurt or in the Netherlands because it's in the EU. So, but you can select whatever you want. Okay, now we know what the BTP is roughly. We know where it's running it, And before Joel gives you some practical insights, let me show you, or let me summarize what it can do for us. With the business technology platform, we have we can meet the customer specific requirements without touching the core. This is pretty important because if you change the core, any update, any release is really hard and cause a lot of trouble and fixing. So that's the reason why we are using the BTP to follow the clean core approach and to make sure that every future release and also the way in the public cloud is possible with your custom requirements. On the BTP, we have a lot of services you can use directly in your project. There's a different kind of service, from service like authentication or authorization, and services for analytics, for monitoring, and AI, of course. And directly offered from the SAP, I think we have 98 services and a lot more offered by partners worldwide. So you can all use this in your project and didn't have to build anything. If you want to build something, you can build directly on the BTP. There's an integrated development environment, it's called BAS, or Business Application Studio. It's similar to Visual Studio Code, but it's on the BTP. You can build side-by-side applications and deploy it and run it on the BTP. And most importantly, with the BTP, we are not only ready for the future, we are on a scalable and a reliable path and enterprise ready. So with this in mind, I'd like to hand over to my colleague, Joel. He will guide you through some practical examples, what we built on the BTP.
Yeah, thanks. We wanted to show some practical examples of what we developed on the BTP side, so not just theoretical stuff. We brought two applications here that we want to give some details about, and we have developed both of them in-house with customers, actually, in customer projects. The first one that we see here from a business requirement side is a kind of in-store order creation app. If we are considering the industry solutions from SAP, with the new modern solutions, there is actually no way to create orders easily directly with an SAP app that is available. So on the S4 side, there is some kind of transaction that you can use, also on Fiori application, but with the omnichannel solutions, there isn't an application available. So we had the requirement in our customer projects to develop some kind of applications that can be used for it. Here, the requirement is that we can use all the cloud solutions from SAP that they offer. That means we have a solution is called Order Management Foundation. Not sure if you have heard of it. It's a retail-specific topic where you can combine all the different sources where you might have an order, like a web shop. You might have the S4 system where you have some orders or additional topics, and all of them are combined in a single place, and it's the Order Management Foundation. And we had the requirement to build an app that creates the orders directly in that system. The application itself, it's actually quite simple. So from what you can imagine, we have to see and search for products. So that means you have to be able to provide a name of a product, have an ID or something like this, then see the details of the product. So let's assume that you're in a store and someone is coming to you and wants to buy a specific product. Then you need to see, is it available in my store? Is it available maybe in a separate store in a different location? So you need to be able to see directly in the tool where you can see details about the product. Once you see if the product is available, you need to see, of course, the prices. You want to see how long it takes basically to deliver to the customer, and eventually you want to place the order. So that's what we do in this example application that we have here. And we want to go a bit more detailed into the architecture side, because I think for the round here that's more interesting. If you're considering the BTP architecture, We have on the upper left part the end user, of course, who is interacting with our application. Then we can see on the BTP that we have this in-store order app, so the application that we have developed. And then from an architecture point of view, we are using different services of the BTP that are used in order to enable our application to also integrate with other systems. So what you see here is that we are using the destination and connectivity services to call or make a request to the SAP Cloud Solutions. So that means we have the S/4HANA system, which is the main tool basically to maintain all the customer data. Normally, then we have the Order Management Foundation, which is the tool in the end that is used to persist all the orders and manage all the orders. Then we have order management for sourcing and availability. It's basically a tool that provides you information if a product is available. It also considers things like reservations. So if someone in the web shop is in parallel adding an item to the cart, then it is also considered as a reservation. So it is not considered as being available. And finally, the omnichannel promotion pricing, which is also an SAP solution, which always has the up-to-date price, also considering current promotions that you might have. So that means the application itself is connected to all of those tools by the connectivity services. And if the customer is having an on-premise system, S4 normally, in our case, then we are using also the cloud connector to connect to the on-premise system to get the details here and, for example, fetching the customer details. So that's the architecture that we are using for from BTP side and the services that we are using for this specific application. Secondly, we wanted to bring another application that we have developed. It's called CCO Launchpad. Max already mentioned that we are covering the customer checkout solution from SAP, which is the point of sale in a store. And as you can easily imagine, customers often have hundreds or even thousands of stores. So that means they have a lot of checkout instances running in different places. And for customers or for customer checkout customers, it's sometimes a challenge to manage all of those different places because you might have different configurations you have different countries, then you have different configurations for the customer checkout instances running in the different stores. And the challenge here was from customer requirement side that they have no option to easily manage that from a single place. So they often have to log in to an instance and change configurations manually. So we developed a tool which is called CCO Launchpad. It basically allows you to connect to the instances running in the different stores. And for example, comparing the configuration that have been deployed locally, or maybe changing things like plugins. So if you have a specific plugin, technology-wise, it's a Java application. So you might have a Java plugin, which is deployed locally. And with our tool, customers can easily manage that from a single place. If we are going to the architecture, it's similar as the one before. So of course we have the BTP with the application, CAP application actually, which is running there. Then we have again the connectivity services to connect to the cloud solutions that we might have in the overall setup. And what is different here compared to the previous one is that we are using the in the on-premise network, we do have the customer checkout instances, so the point of sale in the store, and we developed a plugin there which is connecting to the BTP application. So that means our BTP application is providing some kind of APIs or interfaces, and the local plugin is connecting to them and providing information there. So it's basically pushing information, but also providing a connection where you can deploy things locally. So if we have, for example, a new plugin which needs to be deployed in the instances on the on-premise side, the plugin itself is the connection to the BTP application to manage that. So here we have a different setup. So it's not just a kind of simple UI, but rather full stack application, which also includes a component which is running remotely in the on-premise network. Finally, I want to give some conclusion from our side. So what we see when it comes to the BTP in our projects. Of course, this is a perspective that we have. So what we see in our projects when it comes to retail customers with a focus on the BTP topics, we often see, or in almost all our projects, we see that the core services of the BTP are being used, which means integration suite. It's something that we see in almost all the projects. So customers need to integrate a lot of systems, a lot of cloud systems, and this is something that is normally being done via the BTP. Of course, we have also topics like Business Application Studio, which means the whole development stack is also being used from the BTP side, and then sub-built tools like WorkZone, which is the new portal solution, or process automation, previously called Workflow. So all of those core services are being used in the projects that we are working with our customer. Then secondly, clean core. That's a very important topic that we hear quite often, especially when it comes to new projects. And we are dealing with the customers or talking with them, especially from a management side. They have the requirement that we follow the clean core principle from SAP, which means that the S4 system should not be touched, or in a most minimal way if possible, and push all the custom requirements to BTP applications. So that means we have the requirement to build custom applications on BTP side and not touch the S4 system if possible for custom modifications. Then, of course, the whole topic about business AI and automation, it's getting quite important from a customer side. Here, it is still in the beginning from what we see. So we have a lot of conversations with customers that want to use business AI, but they're struggling to identify the use cases actually. Then also they need to have the technology in place. So we just, I think a week ago, we had a talk with a customer who's using an ECC system. So they want to use AI, but technically they're not able. So actually the conversation started with Joule, I think. They wanted to use Joule, but it was not possible because it's just something that is available with the S4 stick. So here we are kind of dealing with the customer, the use cases when it comes to identifying the right technology, but also implementing it so that it can be used and actually brings an additional benefit. So from our perspective here, we are still at the beginning, but the use cases and the conversations that we have are quite interesting. And finally, yeah, BTP is becoming more important. We started with the answer to everything. So that's what we actually really hear quite often. So customers want to use BTP, they want to develop custom applications, and we see that in our projects that BTP applications are a mandatory requirement and a mandatory skill as well that we need to bring in to actually have successful projects.
Okay, yeah. Last but not least, we want to take a look to the future role of BTP. Yeah, we say it is less technical because a lot of stuff is moving from the core systems in services that you can use, and you have a stronger a stronger focus on integration and more on the business processes. So there will be a shift. And also, yeah, I know sometimes it's more a buzzword, but yeah, business AI is everywhere, and the BTP will getting in a leading role of business as AI. Right now, there are, I don't know how many services, but starting from Joule to SAP core services, core AI services, and so on. So this number is growing, and yeah, in the future, you have this BTP component as central for your business AI. So, and a lot of business AI use cases. All right. So far, so good. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sure. For the Launchpad, as example, we use the CAP model for developing it. We use the integration suite for connecting it, and maybe we can jump back just a second. Here we are. Or let me ask you again. How deep do you want to go? So. Yes, yeah, and also PostgreSQL, because we have some data that we store only for configuration and permissions for the CCOs. So
yeah. Maybe in this specific example here, we're actually using PostgreSQL because we need a persistence layer, but it is quite small, and the setup costs from HANA are too high in that case. So we're using PostgreSQL, then we're using the object store to store files and things like the plugin. So that's something that we have here in that picture. And then, of course, Cloud Foundry as the runtime for the CAP application. So that's the technical setup that we have here, and that maybe that goes into the direction of what you wanted to ask.
we are we using the XSUR. I'm not sure how the service is called correctly,
Yeah, no.
but yeah. Yes. At this part.
It depends always a bit on the application that we are using. So in this specific example, it's more an IT tool. So the IT team is using it, and then we're using the default identity provider often, which is from SAP side. If it's an end user application like the other one, which is running in the stores, then customers often have their own identity provider, which is connected in the BTP, and they're doing the user management there.
Okay, then thank you and enjoy your coffee.
Yeah.